Hi brand owners, this is Mari, Sherwood Studios art director. Today I have a very cool video for you, which is a complete guide through photo photography for your Amazon listing. So let's get started. What is product photography exactly? It is an art in which you can communicate to your potential buyers the value, the reason, the quality, and basically the purpose of your product through images, correct? So in product photography, it's the art, or I guess the purpose, is not just selling a pretty picture, but also a good enough picture that it persuades the potential buyers into buying your product. So that is product photography. Let's go now really quickly into what the Amazon technical image requirements are. So these are requirements that you really need to pay attention for unless you want your images to get rejected or for you to not be able to upload any type of content on Amazon. So the first thing is that images should be at least 1,000 pixels on each side. We're talking about, again, listing images, so the ones that go in your first image stack. They must be 1,000 pixels in the longest side at least, because if you do less than that, images, again, remember that Amazon compresses them, and if you do less than this recommended size, they will probably look so blurry that you or the potential buyers won't even be able to differentiate or really understand what the image is supposed to be. The files should definitely be JPEG, TIFF, PNG, or GIF. However, though, I do recommend using JPEG or PNG. Like, those should be your top two formats, because a TIFF could be way too heavy for Amazon, and a GIF, I would say, wouldn't really work unless you're actually trying to create a GIF on Premium A+ content or something like that. So for images that are just photos, so let's say lifestyle images, some modules of the A+ content, you could do JPEG, but mostly when it comes to graphics with a lot of text that you actually created in Photoshop or Illustrator or Canva, make sure you use PNG because the graphics would look higher quality. Now, the images should use at least 85% of the frame. This means that the product or the whole image should cover at least 85% out of the whole artboard. So again, if this is a square format image, the product should take up to 85%. And last but not least, you should be avoiding promotional language. I guess this depends on the type of image that you are working with. If I'm not mistaken, when it comes to infographics, Amazon has less guidelines or less disclaimers when it comes to language uses and the content that you upload. But when it comes to A+ content, they are extremely strict. For example, did you know that you cannot use the word eco-friendly even if you're using or selling an eco-friendly product? Like, you have to have a certified like code or certification code that your product is actually eco-friendly, or if you don't, work your whole copywriting around that, not to use the word eco-friendly. So make sure that you read the guidelines before uploading the content and before you even create it, so you can avoid rejection on the content. Now, back to the presentation. There are three main types of product listing images, okay? The first one, as we already know them, are hero images. These images are the first impression that you have with customers or potential buyers. I always love to say that they work like a profile picture because they are literally the first impression that you have in order to either see more, go into the listing or the profile, or not even looking at them at all. So for hero images, it's extremely important that you show the product realistically and correctly, and again, that you make it look as good as possible in a white artboard. Then we move on to infographics. Now, infographics are basically an easy way, or an easier way, that you can take advantage of to communicate the information about your product in a visual, appealing way. So make sure that you use infographics, especially if your product has like a specific composition, or if it needs to be used a certain way, or if the benefits of the product are not fully clear from just knowing what the product is. Make sure you include that on an infographic. Basically, give as much information as possible in order for buyers to make an informed purchase and not to return your product, but also understanding what they are getting for their money. For lifestyle images, they are all about human connection and emotional connection. Basically, a lifestyle image should show the product in context, but also in use. So if there are images with a model, the model should always look as happy as possible to ensure that people have that fear of missing out, or they want to feel exactly as the model feels. Like she's wearing the product or using the product, she looks so happy, she looks like relieved, so I want to look as relieved and I'm gonna buy the product to feel like that. So that's what lifestyle images are for. And of course, humanizing the product, connecting emotionally with the consumer. Now, how do product images increase conversions? Now, every single module of content for Amazon can increase conversions. It just adds on the percentage, right? Of possibilities of conversion. Basically, the listing images have a percentage, the A+ has a percentage, the brand story has a percentage. Like every single one of them just adds to the list, correct? So when it comes to conversions, product images can increase them by the following points. First and foremost, making a good first impression. What I said about hero images, if you make a good first impression, then people will want to see more and will want to learn more about your product. Second of all, it increases the perceived value of your product. If your product is something that is over $100 on Amazon and the images are bad, like the product doesn't look good, people are not gonna believe that that product costs $100. Not just because you have the price out there, but they will simply not see the value and will think, I'm just gonna get a cheaper option because there might be other ones that look better than you. So you have to invest time and money on content to make sure that the product looks as good as you see it and as you want others to see it as well. And number three, it engages with customers. Just as I said with lifestyle images, they can create emotional connections. They will make them also want to interact throughout your listing, learn more about it, and so on and so forth. So to sum all of the information up a little bit, let's see the screen. How can you optimize your product photography? So the first one is make sure that you photograph multiple angles of your product. Remember that Amazon product images are all about giving the potential buyer an informed experience or an informed purchase, right? So when you give them different angles of your product, they will understand through images, so through visual information, what the product looks like, how it looks on the back, how it looks on the side. If you have different angles on lifestyle images, then they will also understand how it's gonna look in your house, in your kitchen, in your bedroom, etc. Number two is make sure your photos occupy at least 85% of the frame. Now, for example, with specifically hero images, your product has to cover the certain percentage, which is 85%, or the image will get rejected. And it should not be more than 85 or 90% because it can also get rejected. There was an example, or there was a case with one of our clients that sold wallets, in which we wanted to make the wallet occupy as much space as possible, but we made it occupy so much space that Amazon actually rejected the image because it said that it looked like the photo was in white background. So make sure you find a balance. Like there has to be some white, but there also has to be enough of your product. Then make sure you have proper lighting. Now, lighting can make or break a photo, and especially product photography. You have to make sure that the light that you use actually enhances your product. It makes it look great. So make sure you are using organic lighting most of all. Stay away from shadows, stay away from dark reflections, and again, try to make your product look as good as possible. And last but not least, make sure you are using high quality photos. If you use low resolution and low quality photos, when it comes to Amazon's compression of the images once you upload them, then you will be losing so much value out of an image that people won't even understand what the image is supposed to inform them about, because there is not enough visual data because of the lack of resolution to show the product properly. Now, a couple more tips. You can do this yourself, or again, you should hire professionals like Share It Studio that know exactly what they are doing, that have all of the equipment necessary to make all the photos that you need for your listing. But if you want to do it yourself because you're a new seller and you don't have a big budget, let's take a look at the screen and I'll teach you a couple of things. The first one is make sure you prepare your backdrop. So Depending on the type of image you're looking for, be it a white background image for a hero image or a lifestyle image, the backdrop or background or location overall should be as clean and as attractive as possible. However, though, if you do have backdrops, or you can invest in backdrops such as a white backdrop or maybe a marble backdrop that can help you give the feeling of a bathroom, etc., the better. So make sure you do that, and if you use the backdrop along with light, it can ease or it can make the editing process easier, especially for, again, people who are not as experienced when it comes to editing in programs like Photoshop or Camera Raw or Lightroom, etc. Then set your product. Make sure that the product is the center of the image, no matter where you are putting it. Now, if I was recording this video and I was completely out of camera, all that we can see is that Buddha right there, probably you would not engage with this product or this video as much, because there's not an actual face that you can see, or the face that, or the person that is speaking is not in frame. The same thing works with your product. Basically, if you want to catch the attention of someone in a specific point of an image, then everything else, like all of the elements in that image, should drive attention to that image. So it should all work together to make this specific product stand out. So make sure you take that into consideration. And last but not least, make sure you use a tripod, especially if you're not like a professional videographer, you don't have a good pulse, or you don't have a steady hand. For example, me, I don't have a good pulse, like my hands shake a lot. And when it comes to holding a camera, I am not good at it at all. So I use tripods to do things like this, like recording, or to take photos of me, my friends, etc. So make sure you use that, because it's an amazing tool that not only will save you time, but it will also give you the chance to interact yourself with the product to enhance it in other ways. How can we make an effective product photo? The team developed this strategy that's called the Capture and Conquer strategy. So basically, in 4 steps, I'll show you how you can do the best product photography, and not just for the listing, but for the A+ and the brand story and the storefront, post, inspire, everything. The first thing that we need to basically pay attention to, the first step, is to uncover the hidden potential, how it says in the screen. How? You have to research, you have to understand your buyer persona, you have to understand your audience, everything that they are looking for in a product, everything that they need from a product. And once you have that, we can go into step number 2. Again, because you know all of these things, you can take images that attack those issues or that answer those questions. So then you have images that will help people understand the value behind your product, and also how you can use it, and how you can install it, and what's inside of it, and how it's composed, and the ingredients if it's something edible, for example. Then we move on to step number 3. Once you have all of these selection of images, you can conquer the audience by testing the images first. So once you make sure that the images work, you will conquer that audience, because not only is the content targeted to them, but it also is responding effectively to what they need. So you conquer the audience. And number 4, you can optimize the images once you know that they work. What is optimizing in this case? Just as it says here, make sure that it follows Amazon guidelines, make sure that the resolution is good, make sure that the size is good, that the weight is good when it comes to uploading it on Amazon. And that's how you will capture and conquer your product image. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe this video, please. We make videos every single week. There is a lot of pre-production and a lot of planning behind each one of these videos. So if you want to see a video about a particular subject, videos, post, Amazon Inspire, Amazon Brand Story, which there is another video about that, but just in case, if there's anything in particular that you want to know, please leave it in the comments below and we'll make a video for you. If you are interested in booking a complimentary marketing consultation, go to the screen right here and you can scan that QR code and it will take you to our calendar. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.